Ventures, I'm really excited. I was a little bit bummed out earlier because I looked at my video from yesterday and only like 3 or 4 people watched it, which is pretty much nobody, right? But occasionally those stinkers happen. But I'm really excited because I was looking at my very first video, and that came out last year on March 18th, which means, Sean, Mala, you guys were right. It's pretty much the 1-year anniversary, or it will be on the 18th. So I'm really excited about that, guys. There was a time not too long ago, well, I guess it was about a year ago, where I was really wondering if I could pull this show off. One of these things that this show kind of proved to me was simply the fact that through dedication and hard work, you can actually achieve what you at one time felt was impossible. What are you talking about, Jesse? Getting monetized and making millions of dollars? No, Bob, that is legitimately impossible. What I'm talking about is, imagine going from not being a YouTuber to uploading every single day. I went on a walk with you guys through rain, sleet, and snow. Well, maybe not the snow or the sleet, but through a couple drops of rain and a lot of hot days, if you guys know what it's like to live in Arizona. But isn't that cool? I think that's quite an accomplishment. And I feel like with Sean, Mala, Carla, Becky, Lily, and the Terrify, amongst others, if I missed you, I forgot, or forgive me, Arizona Raccoon, I feel like I met some legitimate friends. I have a greater understanding for the ups and downs of what YouTubers go through, and I'm starting to come down to reality with my thoughts and desires when it comes to the channel. One of the things that I started off on this channel was my own personal challenge to lose 30 pounds in 90 days, and I ended up losing close to 20 pounds. But right now I'm in a spot where I haven't had sugar for 11 days, and again, that's another one of those things that I'm proud of. And I'm gonna try to lose some significant weight here over the next 2 or 3 weeks with you. But unlike in the past when I started over, I'm just gonna keep going. And here's the goal I have. Sean, I was actually hoping that you would try this goal with me because you and I are both similar in age, and I know we would love to have bulging ab muscles. So I have this artifact, this ancient artifact from the 80s. It's called the abdomenizer. Here's a picture of it. You might have seen this. I actually have it hanging on my back wall. I'm gonna actually try to gain abs over the next 4 to 6 or 7 weeks. And if I'm able to pull it off, I'm gonna brag about those abs and I'm gonna show them. Now there's a piece of me that thinks maybe that's impossible. After my hernia surgery, double hernia surgery by the way, I feel like I've been left with some sort of bulbous, like light bulb shaped stomach. Very, very weird. But either way, I'm still gonna go for it. And I got a story to share with you. Back in the 80s, I was watching a basketball game. I believe it was in the area of 85 or 86, but the basketball game was between the Celtics and the Lakers, and no, it wasn't part of a playoff series. It was their regular season game. And I started rocking back and forth on my friend Trevor's abdomenizer. He had one that he had left over at my house over the weekend and forgot to take back home because he had spent the night. So anyway, I'm watching this game, and over the next 2.5 hours that this game was on, I just rocked back and forth in this abdomenizer. This same thing that I ended up purchasing a couple decades back on eBay. So I've had this one for quite a few years, but it's been pretty much hanging on the wall. Anyway, make a long story short, after the 2.5 hour game was over, I stood up and I felt something weird in my stomach. Keep in mind, I was only like 8, 9, 10 years old. And I lifted up my shirt and I looked in the mirror, and I am not even joking, guys. I was like a 9-year-old boy with Arnold Schwarzenegger abdominal muscles. And it's funny when I tell this story because I know that people probably don't believe that, but I literally in the course of about 2.5 hours, went from a chubby little third grader to ripped in my abdominals. Did not affect my chest muscles, did not affect my arm muscles, but my abdominals were absolutely shredded. And when I tell people that story, they kind of laugh and giggle like you probably are having a false memory, and perhaps I am. But then they go on to say, even if you did do that at age 9, your muscles and your fat were probably softer and a little bit more malleable then. Whereas now, as a darn near 50-year-old, my abs are probably set the way they are. So I don't know if it's gonna happen, but either way, I'm gonna try to make it happen. And then on top of it all, I think I'm gonna try to videotape it, because I think that could go viral. Hey, 50-year-old guy or 48-year-old guy gets abs in the course of one day. Of course, it'll be the course of weeks, but I'm gonna try to make them bulge out in one day. Can I get a yes? Let's do it. All right, so don't know why I mentioned that to you. I was just really excited, but either way, Sean, if that's something you want to try to do with me, my game plan is to work on my muscles, my ab muscles every single day with my abdomenizer. And then my game plan is to totally cut out the sugar for the upcoming weeks to try to make this happen. If it doesn't happen, then I already know what's going to happen. You and Mala will say, hey, what happened with your abs? And you'll wonder why I don't respond. It'll be total silence. Speaking of total silence, I have a friend named Jack. He's got a YouTube channel that I'd love for you guys to check out. It's Jackson Pierce. And he does reactions to music videos and stuff, where I do reactions to TikTok videos. He does reactions to music videos. And I was kind of chatting with him today for basically the first time in probably 4 or 5 years. And we were just basically talking about how life has thrown us some curveballs. And he was telling me to stay positive, and I was telling him to stay positive. And that's something that I like to tell to all my viewers constantly. Stay positive. What I don't tell you guys is that sometimes I need to actually tell myself to stay positive. You know, there's a lot of disappointment throughout my life. I'm happy with the person that I am. I'm a minimalist, so it's not like I need all the things of the world to be happy, because I really don't. And I'm not really a greedy person, so I don't need all the money in the world. But one of the things that bothers me is I feel like I've kind of underachieved. That's why this thing with YouTube has me so excited, from the fact that over the past year I've been so consistent. I really put my best foot forward. But it's so disappointing in the fact that some of us are destined to be stars, and some of us are destined to just be us. And that's who I am. So I want to take you guys on a journey with me, just like I did last year. And the journey is, can I not only lose this extra 10 or 15 pounds, because it's not like I'm 50 pounds overweight, I'm probably about 10 or 15 pounds, right? But I'd like to seriously see if your boy can bust out a couple muscles and show people. But here's the thing, even if I did a fantastic video, I've gotten to the point where I just don't think I'm ever gonna have the YouTube algorithm push me out very far. So even if I do it, it's gonna be for myself and for you, the venters, to see, because I truly believe that with hard work, dedication, and determination, we can really achieve a lot of our goals. Now, your goals are different than mine. My goals this time last year were not to get pecs or abdominal muscles, but I really want to see if I can. It's one of those things that when you're getting close to the age of 50, they start to tell you those things are harder and harder to accomplish. And I want to see if I can do it without having to take TRT or HRT, right? I want to try to do it with what I have within me. So wish me luck. Hopefully we can get that done. Now, the reason I bring up Jack is because he was really a big part of my life about 15 or 20 years ago. He and I were both playing a lot of poker. We had a lot of poker dreams. I don't know if you guys ever watch poker on TV, but one of your goals when you're watching on TV is to be that guy on TV. And he and I used to actually go to Vegas. This was back in like 06 and 07 and 08. And we would actually put money on the line and compete in like the World Series of Poker. Now, neither one of us went far enough for it to be life-changing money, but we both had our own small little successes in the poker world. That was one of those dreams that I kind of gave up on as I went through my divorce and stuff. One of the dreams that I don't want to give up on as I get older is just to be a content creator. I don't necessarily have to have that goal of becoming rich at it. Heck, I don't even think I have to be successful at it. But now that I've been doing it with you guys for a year, I don't know, call me hard-headed. I just don't want to quit my channel. I'm actually contemplating the idea of starting a second channel, stop doing my reaction videos for Walk, Talk, Vent, instead do those reaction videos for my second channel. But again, I'm kind of a slow, older guy. I like to contemplate things before jumping into it. But if you have any thoughts on that, if you think that's a good idea for me to separate the two into two different channels, because I feel like some of you guys really enjoy walking with me, and I feel like some of you guys really enjoy watching the little reaction videos I put together. And I figure maybe I'll just separate the two. But again, that might not ever happen. It's one of those things that I like to ponder things for a while before I jump into them. One of the things that I urge you not to ponder too long is the idea of starting a walking routine. I've been walking pretty much every day, minus surgeries and illness and inclement weather, for the past 20 some odd years. And it's one of the few things that through the test of time, I enjoy it probably even more now than I did, and I'll tell you why. I always thought walks were awesome, and I still do, but I used to walk in complete solitude, just keeping my thoughts between my two ears. Now, I'm able to chat with you guys. Now, YouTube and current trends makes it where sometimes we're talking about crime, sometimes we're talking about outrageous coworkers, sometimes we're talking about LGBTQ issues, taxes, the orange man, and those are things that I wouldn't necessarily talk about all the time if you and I were actually friends and walking together. I think if we were walking together, I would tell you a little bit more about my insecurities as a human being, and how even though you might dislike the extra weight around your midsection, I probably dislike it even more, you know? I've always been relatively thin and skinny, but lately, it seems like it's been harder to get rid of. Now, why do I mention that? I mention that because I have a feeling a lot of us as we get older are starting to notice that very fact, that it's not as easy as it used to be. Heck, when I was in high school, I was so active that I could literally eat whatever I want, and I was still a waist size 32. Now, as I get older, I can still squeeze in to a waist size 32 through 34, but now my gut hangs over like I'm pregnant, and that's just not appealing. Does everybody see it? No, probably not, but if you see me at certain angles, I definitely look bigger than at others. And you guys are all going through this too, right? You start to notice some clothes fit you a little tighter than you'd like. And then as you start to lose weight, they start to fit you a little looser. And just when you're getting ready to switch out your wardrobe, you'll go on some sort of eating binge. And before you know it, your weight's fluctuating again. Well, I've gotten myself into a situation where if I don't keep my weight down, I basically can't fit into all my clothes. And believe me when I tell you, I've got a nice little wardrobe of clothes. So I want to fit in those. But I want to take you with me, and I want you to fit in your clothes too. So I want you to know my game plan is the same that it's always been. I walk every single day. I'm going to go ahead and continue to walk twice a day like I do. I've been doing 20 to 25 push-ups each and every day for the past 8-9 months well, not with you guys, but by myself. But I've decided that I'm gonna start adding lunges, squats. These are just free body by myself, not necessarily with weights. And then on top of that, I'm gonna add this abdomenizer. This abdomenizer looks like something from the 1980s, doesn't it? And this abdomenizer has one magical quality. It made me, when I was younger, have abs. Now you might be thinking, did those abs go away? And the answer is yes. They went away the following day. But here's the thing, if my buddy wouldn't have come over and taken his abdomenizer back, if he would have forgotten about it forever, my game plan was to use that thing forever. So I lost out on that chance. And I lost out on abs and being the next Arnold Schwarzenegger. But that, by the way, I finally realized what the problem is with sugar when it comes to me. I can quit sugar. Sugar is easy to quit once you're on day 4, 5, and 6. At least it is for me. The first couple days, you're like, golly, do I really want to quit? Look at this gorgeous piece of cheesecake here. Look at this really nice slice of carrot cake here. Do I really want to quit? And a lot of times I end up procrastinating on quitting. But once I get to days 4, 5, and 6, it's usually rather simple for me to quit. Once I do quit, my hunger almost immediately starts to drop. So here's my thought for you, not a question, but a thought. If we could get you guys to stop eating sugar, you need to know in advance that it's gonna be tough for the first couple of days. But the reason I think you should try it is because its effect that it has on you and your hunger in general. When you eat something sweet, you want to continue eating sweet stuff, but it also makes you want to eat food in general. Once you get rid of that sugar, I want you guys to experience what I am, which is just the lessening effects of wanting to eat all the time. For example, when I wake up in the morning, my first thought is not, let's get some breakfast in me. My first thought is, I'm not hungry. If that is a thought, right? It's not a thought because I'm not hungry. I'm usually not hungry till around when lunch rolls around. And I think that's the key to losing weight. Same thing with the evening. I used to eat my dinner at about 6, and then come 6:30 or 7, I was looking around the house for something sweet. And by the way, you might be thinking, wait a minute, Jesse, I was listening to you last year, and you were telling us that you weren't eating sugar. Guys, I pretty much quit sugar, and then after the 90-day challenge, I dabbled in sugar, but I was keeping it under control. And then just like any addict, when Halloween came around, it was those damn Almond Joys and those little miniature Snickers and the Butterfingers. Instead of eating one and being done with it, you end up eating 10 or 11 of them, and you tell yourself it's okay because, hey, they're fun size. They're just little tiny ones for the kids. But even kids, you would never let them sit there and eat a dozen candy bars over the course of, the day. But there I was eating 10 or 11 of them, and that might even be a conservative number. I might have been eating closer to 15 or 20. At Christmas, one of my coworkers, God bless her heart, I know she didn't do it in a bad way, but she sent me a box of 100, or it was like 75 Rice Krispie treats. So I look at the Rice Krispie treats, I think it was only 110 calories, and I started telling myself, well, that's not that big of a deal, I'll have one. But instead of having one, guess what? I was having 2 and 3. So now we're talking, I'm recovering from Halloween, recovering from Thanksgiving meal, which we all go through, and now here at Christmas, not only am I eating, but now I've got all these Rice Krispie treats on top. So it was literally stunting my progress and poisoning me at the same time. As a matter of fact, if you look at some of my thumbnails, I have some where I look skinny as heck, And then I have others in the videos where I look kind of chunky. Even now, sometimes when I'm watching my videos, I think, golly, my arms and my chest area look really chunky, and there's my gut hanging over my belt strap, right? But we're gonna change that. Remember, I can do this, you can do this, we can do this. Let's actually do this. What do you guys say? Year 2, redemption. We're gonna do it. We're gonna quit thinking about success on YouTube, because that might just be something for the real people. You and I are just background characters. So as background characters, we're gonna care more about doing things the right way rather than trying to force things. I can't tell you guys to quit trying to force the square peg into the round hole, while here I am trying to force the square peg into the round hole. This is a walking channel. It has the ability to change your life. So instead of me trying to change my channel, I just need to find more people like you all that want to change your life. One of the things my channel does have that I find fascinating is it does have people that tend to hang around for a while. We need to start hanging around longer. We need to walk together more. And so what I'm going to try to do is try to take you a little bit more through my struggles. The first season was a lot about your guys' struggles and about the struggles that make all people want to walk, whether it's diet related or not. But I'm going to go back to my world. Sometimes my job is stressful. As a recruiter, I try to line up jobs for teachers, and sometimes it upsets me that teachers can be flaky. But I have a feeling all recruiters have to deal with flaky people, not just me. So, to get over mental unhappiness that the job can sometimes put at my doorstep, I'm gonna walk. And to get rid of these chunky stomach area, I'm gonna walk. This chunky flab. And to get those abs, I'm gonna go for it. I'm never gonna be a professional athlete, but golly, I want my stomach to look like I am. So we're gonna get rid of the bubble gut, and we're gonna try to form abs. So that's my goal. I wanna see if my way works. My way is gonna be eliminating the sugar completely. And by the way, I don't think it's good to eliminate it completely long term. My game plan is, after 6 or 7 weeks or so, I'm gonna probably reintroduce fruit. There's always gonna be a battle, okay? If I tell myself I'm never gonna have fruit again, then all of a sudden life becomes a little boring. But at the same time, I need to be able to go at least a couple extended amounts of time without eating sugar. What made it easier is I decided to give it up for Lent. So again, day 11 or so without sugar. If you haven't done it thus far, think about doing it with me. Yeah, so Sean and Mala and Carla, the last 6-7 months, I was really kind of lying to everybody because I always tell everybody, let's avoid sugar. Meanwhile, I was having a real hard time avoiding it. But again, let's call it what it is. It's addictive. It's real easy to go off the deep end with it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna work as a team. So if anybody's struggling with sugar, let us know down in the comments. If you are struggling, then what I'll do is on my walks, in addition to telling you about, hey, this is day X without sugar, I'll also give a couple of you guys shout outs. We want all the venters to wish you well. And if you're a believing venter, say a little prayer for us. We all know it's challenging to give up things that we like. And when it comes to sugar, a lot of us had really good moments with grandma and grandpa around the kitchen, around the kitchen table, eating cookies and ice cream. So it's not like sugar is a horrible thing. There's a lot of good things associated with it, but it itself is kind of detrimental to our health, especially as we get older. So I'm staying away from it. I don't want to say I'm healed from it, but Jesus, thank you for giving me the strength to give it up for these last 11 days. It's getting easier and easier. That's why if you're dreading giving it up, just know that you only have to go through misery for 3 or 4 days. See, the problem with these videos is when you just talk from the heart, it comes across as boring. So I'm hoping that AZ Raccoon, Carla, Terry the Terrify, Mala, Becky, Sean, I'm hoping you guys all stay with me and appreciate these videos. It's been 1 year, or at least it will be on the 18th. By golly, let's keep this going forever. Have a great day. Take an extra credit walk. When you get back, guzzle a glass of water. At every meal, start with a glass of water to fill up some space in your stomach. Totally start cutting down on the sugar using Kaizen. Remember, with baby steps, everything is possible. And let's really take this to the next level. Or you guys can enjoy watching me do it. I'll see you tomorrow. I love you guys.